In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do cycling. Now, cycling is a feature in Anime Studio Debut that really does just what you think it does. It repeats a simple pattern over and over and over. So cycling would be good for example, showing the wheels on a car circling as the car is moving across the screen. Or the example I saw when I was learning how to do this concept was traffic lights. Traffic lights were switching from green to red consistently through the time of an animation. So we're going to do a little example here, and I'm going to use the concept of a butterfly flapping his wings. So what I have here first off is a background layer. You'll see my background is simply some grass and some sky. I have added two different clouds to my animation. And I'm going to play this here just for a second and let you see what I have set up to start. And the clouds simply travel across the screen, but the clouds are traveling at different speeds. So it kind of gives you the illusion of depth and time within your animation. The closer, bigger cloud travels faster, and the cloud off in the distance travels a little bit slower. So what I'm going to add to this now is a butterfly. And I already have these layers set up. So we'll take a look and see what I have with my brilliant animation. I have a butterfly with a body. Well, let's do these parts one at a time. There is my butterfly body. It's just a pink body of a butterfly. I've got one wing that is orange and a second wing that is also orange. So my idea is to have this butterfly fly across the screen, but I'm going to have the wings flapping as it goes. Now I don't want to every single keyframe move these wings. I currently have them set up with bones, but obviously when you create different components in an image, you're going to make your own layers. So I've got butterfly wing 2 and butterfly wing 1 and butterfly body, all collectively inside my butterfly bone layer. I've added a body bone to the butterfly and a bone for each wing. So let's get started. So what I want to do first off is go to the close wing, which is butterfly wing 2, the smaller one. And I'm going to simply move that. Now it is on its own layer, so make sure you select the layer, and if your layer is not centered on your actual component, take your origin tool and make sure you reset that origin on your wing so that you're not dealing with a layer that is half the size of the screen. You're only dealing with a layer that is the size of the actual object itself. So first thing I'm going to do is come down to my timeline, and I'm going to move my timeline ahead 1 second, and on that layer control I'm going to adjust. Let me zoom in here so we can see what's happening. I'm going to adjust the positioning of that wing layer. So I'm simply going to move my mouse over until I get the resize tool. There it is there, and I'm just going to drop that wing down like it is flapping down like a butterfly would do. I'm coming back down to my timeline, and I'm going to go ahead another second, and I'm going to adjust that wing again. This time I'm going to adjust it back up to the way it was, so roughly back to full size. So I just simply have two options, wing down, wing up, and I want to repeat that over and over and over. So you'll see down in my timeline here what's actually happening. There's my wing going up and down, but I'm going to now simply, on this last keyframe, select it, and then right click on it and choose cycle. Now that's just popping down off the screen. I can see that the size of my recording is a little bit too small, but the option for cycle is there. You simply choose it, and it's asking you which frame you want to cycle back to. So generally, if you have this at the beginning of your animation, you'll leave that at 1. So I'm going from frame 47, as it shows there, where my second part of my wing action occurred, all the way back to frame 1. And I just want to repeat that over and over and over. So I'm going to simply close that. And if I play this now, you'll see that I have a red line connecting frame 0 to frame 48. So let's just play this here quickly. And you'll see my wing will just cycle back and forth, up and down. And that's exactly what I want. So now I'm going to go back to frame 0. And I'm going to go to my other wing and repeat the same concept. Now, if you have something like a wheel, you're only going to cycle the one part. I've got two wings, so I want to cycle both of them. So I'm going to go through this same idea again, making sure that my frame is centered in my wing. I'm going to go ahead to 1 second, and again I'm going to take and resize this wing. I'll bring it down also, and then back to my second, and I will take it back up to the size I want it to be. And I'll do the same thing again. Click on the last keyframe of that action. I'm going to right click, and if you don't have the right click mouse on your button, simply hold down Control and click. Choose the cycle option again, which is just below noisy. My keyframe window pops up. Same selections we had before, starts on frame 1, so I'm going to cycle back all the way to frame 1, and it's going to start cycling back at frame 47. So within that frame 0 to 47, 48, it's going to cycle through that. And I will close. And again, we'll just take a quick look and see what I get now. So there's my butterfly flapping his wings as it's flying. So now I would animate this just the way I would do it regularly. So I'll zoom back out a little bit and let you see the whole frame. And I'm going to go back to frame 0. I already have my clouds moving in the background, so now I'm going to focus on the actual butterfly layer. And I'm going to go ahead a couple of seconds, animate my layer. Remember, we're animating layers, we're not animating objects within layers. So now I'm going to grab my butterfly, and in the first 2 seconds, the butterfly is going to fly to there. And I'm going to continue this process, animating like you normally would. I'm going to go every 2 seconds. And this is the same animation technique you've used before. I'll fly ahead to this part. Another 2 seconds. Now you may notice me moving my mouse always in from the right hand side. There's something funky going on with my version of Anime Studio Debut, and if I try and move my mouse on from the bottom, it often disappears on me. So there's my butterfly continuing. 10 seconds in, see, there we go, my mouse has disappeared, jumps in at the top. So I have to come in from the right side. I don't know why this is happening, but I don't think it's happening with your version. And we'll go ahead to frame 12. And one more. So there we have my butterfly leaving the screen roughly the same time as the clouds leave the screen. So we'll try that from its starting point. This is my bone layer traveling across the screen. And then within that bone layer, I have my 2 wings, which are going through the cycle action that I have created. Okay, so that cycle is really a time saver. If I had to do that manually, I'd be creating keyframes on almost every second as I traveled through my 360 frames of action. Obviously, I didn't want to do that, so there in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes, I have created that animation, have my wings cycling up and down as if the butterfly is flying all the way through, and that will repeat as long as I want it to. All right, so there you go, cycling. You can add that to your list of skills that you understand for Anime Studio Debut, and if you can use that somewhere in your final animation. Again, as I've said, I've seen the example of traffic lights, of a wheel turning. You could have your eyes blinking while you're doing your lip sync. So every couple of seconds, the individual could blink their eyes, and you wouldn't have to do that over and over manually, have it cycle. Lots of options. The only thing holding you back is coming up with a creative idea to use that concept. All right, so there it is. Good luck. You can add that to your repertoire when you are done. Thank you.